But having the human sprites is still better than not having them, I would say. Can I load the game? Yeah. Because it's easier to tell what they are without having to memorize the color-coded cubes. It's a good little test of save loading there, though. Everything loaded correctly, and the worshippers still seem to be unlocking that shrine, and everything seems pretty good. This seems like a pretty safe bet, this portal stone. This one is not too bad either. Nice expansion stone there. I still don't think I've unlocked a single expansion stone since buffing them. That increases the size of the sphere of influence, which is the area in which you can perform miracles. Although you can always perform miracles on your followers, even outside of the sphere of influence. Hence the holy fire above their heads. Well, I'm sure they'd appreciate some shelters because it's raining. But I'm saving the power. I'm saving the power. I want to have like 2,500 power banked so that we can resurrect anybody if we need to. Because you can't take dead humans to the next level with you. Everyone has to be alive if you want them to go to the next level. We got it. Miracle resurrection. Bring these guys back. Give them a chance to rest and recuperate. And we'll go after something else. So it used to be that all three were combined into one. Portal stones, expansion stones, and shrines were just shrines. And they would unlock a new miracle, increase the size of the sphere of influence, and unlocking all four of them would open the portal to the next level. And I changed that. I split them all up into three separate things eventually, because I think it's much nicer when they're kind of optional. You still have to unlock all four portal stones to get to the next level, but you can skip the expansion stones, you can skip the shrines if there's some miracles that you don't feel you want or need. You can potentially soft lock yourself, or like, you know, if you do choose to skip certain miracles, you could reach a level where you're really going to struggle without it and possibly be unable to progress. Which is sort of the idea behind forcing you to unlock them all originally, but you know, it's a good point, really. Maybe you should be able to like travel back into the previous levels, which would mean I'd have to build a whole system for saving them, because right now they would just be like procedurally generated over again when you entered the map. So we might need a way to sort of save and revisit levels. I think it would be pretty good, because otherwise, like, what are you going to do? You get to a level where you can't progress without a certain miracle. But maybe you remember that, oh, there's a really useful miracle like 2 levels back, but you can't get back there. So maybe we actually need, like, another type of portal thing, which is the one that you emerge from when you enter a new level, which is something I considered originally anyway. So you emerge from a portal into the new level, and then you have to, like, travel to the camp, wherever that is, just like how you have to travel to the portal to leave the level. You have to travel to the camp when you enter a level, which could be interesting. Kind of gives you a chance to get the lay of the land as well. I'm I'm gonna have to write that down. I'm pretty sure that is necessary, because we can't just, like, you know, have the player get kind of soft-locked because they didn't choose to unlock some particular miracle in a previous level. Should be able to go back. So there would need to be like an entrance portal as well as an exit portal, and we would need to be able to save maps, I guess, if you want to call them maps, or what would you call them? I don't know. Rooms? No, they're not rooms. Well, I seem to have been calling them levels, so we need a way to save levels when they've been generated. Oh, we almost have enough power to resurrect somebody if somebody dies, so let's go for the easy ones. We'll pick off the easy ones. Let's get another couple of portal stones so that we know that we're on the way to getting that portal unlocked. Man, life is good. Life is good. And there's that expansion stone there. We could, hell, we could just go for that as well. Let's go on an absolute frenzy. An absolute unlocking spree. How are the hunters doing for fur? They've almost got their first tent built here, and we're on day 3, which is technically day 4 because you start on day 0. So yeah. So the long term, like way down the line, there are plans to add new constructs, like guard towers and an armory, or like a kind of like a workshop, something like that. Eventually, there's kind of plans to add crafting to the game. Guard towers, I'm not entirely sure how they would work yet, but you know, give like some sort of increased range to the. But the thing is, the guards are melee. It's possible that it could just increase their perception radius, allows them to see further, but that doesn't really help. Because you don't, you know, the game isn't about killing everything. So all that's going to do is, like, cause your guards to, like, run out and kill more stuff. I'm not quite sure what guard towers, I just think it's a cool idea, I just haven't figured out how it should work. Because hunters aren't guards either. Hunters are hunters, they, you know, they will fight if they have to. And, I mean, depending on whether they think they have a chance to win or not. Otherwise, they'll just run. But they aren't, like, a combat class like the guards. So we'd need some sort of ranged guard gift, probably, like an archer or like a spearman. Spearman? Is that what it's called? Like dudes with spears, dudes and dudettes, or yeah, or like say an archer or something. I don't know. And then crafting. Been thinking about how we'd probably need like a miner to gather rocks, like flint and stuff. We'd be able to add different resources like teeth and bones and horns and tusks that you can get from animals. So that would just tie in with the existing hunting stuff, which would be nice. And then we'd probably need, either we'd combine it, so there'd be like a miner crafter, like crafters would gather the rocks when they're not actively crafting stuff, or we would have 2 separate gifts, one for gathering the rocks and one to do the crafting, which would be clearer. It would be clearer as to who does what, and I'm okay with gifts having multiple roles. Sometimes it's really cool, like the water bearers, they're also firefighters, right? Originally they were just water bearers, but then I thought it was actually really cool when they gained the ability to extinguish fires as well. Sometimes I kind of like it, but then, you know, foragers and fishers, they just do what it says on the tin. They either fish or forage, they don't do anything else. But it could be like, but then again, you know, carpenters, our only sort of crafting class that we have right now, builders more than crafters. Not only do they fell trees and build tents, but they also gather firewood and feed the fire. So they're also a resource gathering class as well as a building class. So they're kind of a multi-role. They're definitely the MVPs. They just have the most insane logic out of everybody. But this is all stuff that's like way down the line, long ways from now. It's a lot to do before we get to add any of that cool stuff to the game. But it will be pretty sweet, I feel. Okay, we got our first portal stone, second portal stone, so now we've got 2 little fires lit up on the level exit portal there. We've almost got our first expansion stone, and I buffed these big time recently, so this is literally going to double in size. It used to increase by 50%, now it increases by 100%. Because I would just never unlock them. I would skip them, always skip them, really. But I think, yeah, there are a lot more. Yeah, I mean, look at the size of that thing. That's a lot more useful than it used to be. And if you get all 4 of them, it's pretty huge. Oh, the wolves are out hunting. Better be careful nobody gets eaten or anything. Oh my god, it's happening. Okay. Yeah, so the wolves will go out hunting in packs every few days. Oh no. Was that deer's fawn? That's tragic. So I could actually expand the sphere of influence so much as to be able to reach these wolves directly, I think. You know, it's something I'm aware of. Originally, I think that would have been very difficult to do before. I'm not sure if any of them would have ever spawned close enough to camp to be able to do that. I can trivialize things a little bit, but then again we have the conservation meter, which depletes every time you kill something, so, you know, you'll get the bad ending if you kill too much stuff or chop down too many trees and don't, like, replenish it. So, yeah, you're disincentivized from killing anything. You want to avoid it if possible. We only have quick saving and quick loading right now. Building the actual save system is something I'm yet to do. It's one of the important things that still needs doing before we get to do any other fun stuff. I mean, I'm sure it'll be pretty fun building a save load system. Never done it before. I kind of need to pick Taraka's brains about it, to be honest with you, because they've got one in Hit Idle. Okay, Divine Intervention over there looks like it might be the safest one to go for next, and it's actually very useful. I think we'll hit up divine intervention in a second here. Make sure my worshippers are all in good shape first. Maybe I'll wait for after breakfast tomorrow morning. I'll go ahead and provide them with the rest of the fur to get another tent built. Currently there's no penalty for not sleeping. But I do need to add something like that. Like, you know, usually I'll just do the basic implementation first, where if you don't sleep for like 4 weeks, you just die. And then eventually which would be really interesting for the Nomad playthrough. With an idea for an achievement would be to play through the game without building any tents, and nobody could sleep, and you'd have to beat the game within, you know, 28 days or something if it was set up like that, before everybody just dies. That would be pretty insane. Right now there is literally no penalty for not sleeping. It would make sense if there was some kind of a debuff as well, though, that like made them move more slowly, or maybe perform actions more slowly. Because, well, I mean, I don't know. Moving more slowly would make sense too. And that way we could just avoid like them dying of sleep deprivation at all, and we could just say that, oh, it just gives them this debuff. Alright, let's go for it. I'm gonna carry them over there, otherwise they're gonna get eaten by wolves almost certainly. Good luck. Hopefully these wolves are all satiated. They were hunting recently, so they should be good for a few days. Yeah, and there's... oh my god, what? Somewhere in this map is Miracle Smite. This one. Which... is like it was always pretty useful it was always pretty useless, because you couldn't smite anything except your own humans outside the sphere of influence. But now that we can expand the sphere of influence a lot more, you know, it's a lot easier to just smite wolves and stuff. But like I say, you're still disincentivized from just killing stuff because of the conservation meter. Yeah, I didn't think about it, but it's also excellent because it does tie into what I want to do for one of the endings, for the good ending. You know, I would like you to be able to travel back to any of the previous levels from the good ending, and you'll essentially unlock a miracle called Rapture, which raptures everybody back to heaven. The good ending is essentially heaven. The bad ending is essentially hell. And which ending you get depends on how well you conserve the natural environment throughout your playthrough. And I thought, like, you know, heaven, it's going to be abundance and eternal life and everything. And I thought it would be fun to sort of like maximize the level of freedom, because you're in this totally liberated state, if you could like revisit any of the previous levels, essentially like reincarnate back into the world in any place of your choosing. And obviously to do that, we'd have to save the levels so that you could revisit them. So this whole idea of adding an entrance portal which would allow you to return to the previous level, you know, if we'd got that done, then we'd easily be able to just put a bunch of portals in the good ending that allow you to return to any level. Yeah, something like a ward. You know, like a ward, you put it down and it scares away creatures that get too close to it or something. Because you could expand your sphere of influence a bit, and then we could put like a ward thing over here that just scares away wolves or something. It's an idea, another idea for like a type of construct that you could possibly build. Right now I've got like the torch, armory, guard tower is not on there, I'll add that. I've got something called totem. I don't even remember what that means. Maybe that is ward. I'll rename it to ward. I don't know what I meant by totem. What's the totem do? So yeah, there's going to be miracles like pacify and fear and stuff, like non-violent ways of dealing with the animals. Although I suppose scaring the shit out of them is kind of violent, but at least you're not going to hurt them or kill them. So you're going to have more tools at your disposal for, you know, dealing with the aggressive creatures without having to kill them. I do think I need to check. I believe the reason the conservation meter has just gone back up is because a bunch of baby rabbits have just been born. So I think I might change it to where only the player's actions affect the conservation meter. We'll see. Just because it's mainly because it's confusing when you see the look, it's just refilled completely. Like, and the player might be like, wait a minute, what? I didn't do anything. Why has it gone back up? You know, if it's directly connected to the player's actions, then it's going to be a lot more understandable, like what's going on. But I was just thinking at the time, like, oh, if new animals are born, then obviously that's good for conservation, so it should go back up. We'll see them eventually. They'll all be like in the warrens. The little baby rabbits will emerge eventually. And I haven't done a long like test of the ecosystem in like 2 years or something. The reason that foxes were originally introduced into the game is just to keep the rabbit populations under control. Okay, I'm just going to DI my boys back. There we go. Yeah, because the rabbits were like, after a few generations, there'd be like billions of them. The whole map was practically a sea of rabbits. Okay, we're looking pretty good. That's an easy portal stone to get without too much trouble, I would say. We got lucky that none of the bears in this map are aggressive, too. It's raining pretty heavy. I think I'll let them finish another tent. We can afford to spend a bit more fur. Spend a bit more power on fur. Looks weird when I'm so used to the sphere of influence being like, you know, wrapped tightly around camp. It looks weird when it's expanded. I feel like I'm free floating here out in the void, in the ether. The lightning strikes can set stuff on fire. It's very rare though. They always seem to go off the bottom of the map. I don't know why. It's set to just strike randomly anywhere in the room, but as far as I can tell, they always seem to be going off the bottom of the map. Not always, but if we keep an eye out there, we might see like a tree or something catch fire. Tweaking the particle system again might be a good idea at some point. I don't know how long the particles still exist off screen, which is not going to be good for performance really, is it? Whoa, I just saw it hit right there. Lightning hit right there. It didn't set anything on fire though. Oh yeah, we do have an invisibility spell. I always forget about it. It was the last thing when I was last working on miracles, it was the last one I added. You can make the humans invisible. And obviously nothing will be able to detect them then. I think they can still be healed by their own, like, shaman. Which it doesn't really make sense either. Like, how would you heal them if you can't see them? How would you even know they're there? Well, I suppose I could yell out to you, but then how could you target them? Is that how does shamanism work? I don't know. I've got to speak to a shaman. Can you heal invisible people? How does that work? Tell me about your line of work. When it comes to healing invisible people. Yeah, this one is going to be tough to get. Okay. Everybody get some breakfast and stuff. We need to send you guys out to unlock another... Oh my god. Oh, okay. Oh my god, we are not okay. I'm DIing them out. Phew. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and activate this portal stone and send out some worshippers. This seems like the next... Smite seems like the next easiest miracle to get. Still pretty close to those wolves. That's a pretty easy expansion stone right there. That could be helpful. There's a couple of expansion stones we could get. Yeah, it, you know, gotta remember, it seems really easy to me, but I've played the thing to death. And I made the frickin' game, so it's understandable. But, oh Jesus, we're clashing with the wolves. So I'm resisting the urge to nerf it. I mean buff it. Buff the difficulty. Increase the difficulty. Plus, this is the first level. It's supposed to be easy. It gets harder as we progress through the levels. Resources become more scarce. Weather conditions become more extreme. Eventually, the animals will get deadlier as well. Although, that's not a thing yet. What the hell is going on? Please don't attack my worshippers. I need them. This is absolute chaos right now. Oh my god. Let's deactivate this one temporarily while we sort of reset the situation. The wolves might have been fighting each other as well over here. Holy crap, that was a large group of wolves right there. They're going to kill this one. Well, that's going to make unlocking this shrine a little bit easier. Not bad for the wolves, though. I think we can head back to this expansion stone now. I wonder how we're doing on that portal stone up top. Yeah. Yeah, that's the one thing, is like, if you think your game is too easy, it's probably not easy enough. It's like, you know, as the developer, you've basically mastered the game. It's going to be a radically different experience for a first-time player or just like a casual player. I will admit, though, I did roll back a little bit recently. I was playing, like, essentially, easy mode used to be normal, you know, and easier was even easier. And I was playing on normal difficulty, and I was like, this feels easy. This feels very easy. And so I decided, you know what, let's make this easy mode. Basically, all the difficulty changes is the number of humans that you start with. And so you start with 25 adults, 5 children on normal difficulty. Previously it was 30 adults, 6 children. That's now easy mode. But yeah, as you can see, I'm doing very well. I have tons of power saved up. We're unlocking shrines left, right, and center. We're about to get 2 more expansion stones. But that's just me being really good at the game. There is Beginner Island, the level before this, where there are no deadly creatures. There's no bears, wolves, or anything like that. And that is just basically serving as a placeholder for the tutorial, which is another one of the important things that we need to do, along with the save load system. But right now there is no tutorial, so there's just a level where it's very hard to die, basically. Just to give you a chance to learn the ropes. And the other good thing about it is that you have your, like, all of your gifts assigned. By the time you finish that level, you have all your guards and your healers and your hunters and everything. And so when you advance into the next level, you're kind of ready. You're ready for it. If you skip the tutorial, then, you know, at the beginning you're like frantically trying to set up the tribe before you get attacked or something. And sometimes, like, yeah, sometimes you just get mauled by a bear in the first 5 seconds, and, well, it's not quite that bad, but you know what I mean. It's pretty hard to recover from that. Sometimes you can get... It's part of the randomness as well with procedurally generated levels, is like, you can get a really rough start sometimes. Like, we've done pretty well here, mainly because of my masterful play. But this was a pretty tough map, considering, like, where some of these shrines are relative to the wolves. We've still got to deal with the hard ones. But yeah, look at the size of the sphere of influence now, it's crazy. is this the last expansion stone? I think it might be, right? No, there's one over here. So we're about to hit 3, and we will be able to, like, reach this wolf den here, and 4 we would definitely... Okay, no, we can't quite, but with the 4th one we'd be able to reach this wolf den even. You know? And if you can do that, you can literally just convert the wolves directly into fur and meat. They just become a resource at that point. But again, yeah, the conservation level will go down. Alright, I'll give my worshippers a chance to recover, and then I think I'll go for both shrines at once. How are we doing on the portal? We need one more portal stone, actually, this one right here. Doesn't look too bad, depending what the wolves are doing. If they start roaming around, this is still a full pack of 9. If these guys start roaming around, like, as 9, that could end pretty badly. The, performance is pretty good. You know, I'm pretty close to, like, stable 200 FPS. It was dropping quite a bit before. It does have its moments where it drops heavily. But it hasn't dropped below, like, 100, really, on this playthrough, I don't think. And that's whilst I'm streaming, so... The optimizations are definitely paying off. It's good. Big part of it was just compiling with YYC instead of virtual machine, but... Certainly happy with the performance levels right now. You know, I liked, well, I don't know how Game Maker works actually. I think the game still runs at 60 FPS no matter how far above that I am. They're more like spare frames. So yeah, I'm pretty sure visually it's still 60. Which is a bit of a shame for me because I'm on 144 Hz monitor. It'd be nice to utilize that. Oh, the wind's picking up. The wind will do damage to your tents. As we can see, the health bar on these has all gone down a little bit. The wind will also make fire spread further, like the reach of the fire can spread further. Don't want to jinx it, but nobody's caught fire in a while. We're doing pretty good with that. Fire safety levels are at an all-time high. Days since follower caught fire, like 7. Okay. Oh, the hunter's doing for fur here. Oh, I might let them build another tent. We got plenty of power banked up. What's happening? Oh, somebody did just set on fire. Where are the water bearers? Yeah, here they come. I'll let the water bearers deal with it. It's always fun. See, I jinxed it. Okay, well, yeah, we really do need this portal stone as well, don't we? Otherwise we're not going to be able to leave once I get these final 2 miracles. Yeah, they will need fur to repair these tents. I might just drop a little bit of extra fur in the store for them to get the repairs done, although, I don't know, we're going to be leaving this level soon. I don't know if we need to worry about repairing. Then again, I mean, well, it's the power. I can take the power with me, obviously. My power transfers over to the next level, but we can't take any of the resources with us. there's some baby rabbits. Oh, wind seemed to have died down again. Yeah, I think we'll be fine. I really do miss the smoke coming from the top of the tents. I may re-implement it at some point. It was just really nice. If I was to do that, I could totally remove the thing where the campfire has a chance to spread to other things. Because the tents could just, you know, if you have a fire going in the tent, there could just be a chance for the tent to catch on fire. That's how it used to work. The reason I removed it was so that the campfire is the only thing that provides warmth, and that, you know, to be honest, if I was gonna re-implement it, I'd want it to like consume firewood or something, right? Because, you know, if you light the campfire, it consumes firewood. How come you can light these fires inside of the tents for free? Right? It doesn't make sense. It's just visually, it was really nice to have the smoke coming out the tops of the tents. It looked really good. Wouldn't always be there, it would just be there if it got cold enough for them to light a fire. So, you know, at night, for example, or in winter, or if you're in the boreal forest or something, somewhere really cold. The Arctic tundra for sure. There's just one more creature to add to this map. The moose. And I was on the fence about it. I was like, you know, there's a lot of stuff crammed into a very small map already. Do you think we can really add the moose? And I was like, yeah, I think we can add the moose. Because the moose is going to be like passive and less provoked, basically. Or it might, well, it might be aggressive if it has calves. Same as if the bears have cubs. So yeah, it might get a little bit crazy, but we could balance it out by reducing the number of other animals or something to balance it out a bit. The moose would just be like a great sort of windfall or whatever they call it. Like, you kill a moose, you get so much meat off of one of those things, it'll last for ages. Good lord. Thank God that wolf didn't react, because my worshippers were wandering right into that wolf den. Well, we're looking pretty good now. I think the only thing that we skipped was one expansion stone. And we're about to get the last portal stone, which will allow us to perform an exodus to the next level. Boom. There we go. Portal activated. Don't wander into the wolf den, please. Okay. Well, time to abandon this camp. We didn't even get it fully built yet. But it's time to go. Make sure that the guards and the hunters enter last, and the healers, just in case. We want them around to protect people. Whoop, didn't mean to convert you. Get the women and the children first. Go, go, go. Alright, here we go. Off to the open plains next. Level 2. Sweet. Well, we beat the first stage. Nice. And I don't think we encountered a single bug. We made a couple of notes about some like minor balance changes we might want to make and stuff, but that was pretty solid. I'm gonna save it right there. And it's about time I work out today, so I'm gonna lift some weights now.